Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Tuesday, February 10th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to build on the previous session's gains, with ASX futures up around 0.4%. Risk on sentiment has further fueled equity markets, with MSCI's gauge of global stocks rising 1% overnight. On Wall Street, tech was back in favour, following last week's AI-related sell-off, boosting the S&P and Nasdaq. Software companies continue to claw back losses, with the S&P 500 Software Services Index up 6%, but was still some 13% adrift of its highs 2 weeks ago. Oracle was among the best performers after a broker upgrade, while Microsoft has been downgraded to a hold by Melius researchers, which say that the company is moving too slowly on Copilot in 365. Nvidia also gained, while Google parent Alphabet planned sale of $15 billion of US dollar bonds drew more than 100 billion in orders. Among other movers, Hims & Hers Health shares sank after Novo Nordisk sued the telehealth firm for patent infringements after it launched and then cancelled a copy of the Danish drug maker's weight loss pill. Workday shares slid after the human resources software provider announced co-founder Anil Bushri will return as its chief executive. Apollo Global Management rose after the asset manager reported a 13% increase in fourth quarter profit. Shares in IT services provider Kyndryl plummeted after the delayed in quarterly filing and flagged material weakness in financial reporting. And grocery giant Kroger gained after it named former Walmart executive Brett Foran as its chief executive. Well, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett has said the US job gains could be lower in the coming months due to slower labour force growth and higher productivity, saying, "I think that you should expect slightly smaller job numbers that are consistent with high GDP growth right now. Population growth is going down and productivity growth is skyrocketing." Meanwhile, in the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has resisted calls to quit, with the leader of his party in Scotland demanding he stand down as the fallout from Starmer's appointment of Peter Mandelson as US ambassador grows. Two of the Prime Minister's closest advisors have quit in recent days over the appointment of Mandelson, whose close ties to late US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein have plunged the government into crisis. Bloomberg has reported that Chinese regulators have advised financial institutions to rein in their holdings of US Treasury bonds, citing concerns over concentration risks and market volatility. The US 2-year Treasury yield has fallen to 3.48%, the 10-year at 4.2%. And Australian 3-year government bond yields at 4.33%. US dollar index is down more than 0.5% on the day, with the yen strengthening after Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's resounding election victory. The Aussie dollar has surged to 70.9 US cents. Oil prices have risen after the US Department of Transportation issued an advisory to US flagged vessels to avoid Iranian territory while passing through the Strait of Hormuz and Gulf of Oman. Brent crude futures up more than 1.5% at $69 a barrel. Gold is up more than 2%, buoyed by a softer US dollar. Spot gold trading at around $5,080 an ounce. And spot silver is up more than 7% to $84 an ounce. Meanwhile, copper is also risen. Iron ore trading at $101 a tonne. And Bitcoin is currently trading just above $70,000. On the data front, locally today, we get Westpac's Consumer Confidence Survey for February, and NAB releases its January Business Confidence and Conditions Report. On the earnings calendar, results are expected from Emotive, Computershare and Region Group. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.